How you guys doing? I'm Alex with Ingrained MX, where we talk about gear reviews, tech tips, how-tos, and more. Today we're going to be talking about how to do an oil change on a 2019 to 2022 Kawasaki Kx450F. Stick around. First thing you're going to want to do is start the bike, let it warm up right around the neighborhood, give it a few revs in the garage. What that does is mixes up clutch material, engine shavings, anything that may have settled to the bottom. This helps it flow out with the oil when you drain it. Alright, so we got the bike all warmed up. First thing you're going to want to do is take off this plastic cover here. This cover doesn't come factory, but you can buy it from Kawasaki for around $30. I like it because it offers a little bit of protection. It's not as strong as something like this Achobe's option is. It is a lot cheaper, and for a guy like myself who does mainly moto, I don't really need this big plastic strong cover here. You don't absolutely take this cover off, as there's a hole for the drain plug. I personally like to take it off just because it ends up draining on top of this sometimes, and once it drains on top it goes everywhere, and you might as well just take it off. Alright, got all the bolts out, pull that off and we'll put the triangle stand. Okay, so we're going to get our 12mm and we're going to remove this 12mm bolt right underneath. Break that loose, pull this out, and let it all drain out. Okay, once you got the drain bolt out, you're going to want to rock the bike back and forth. What this does is helps get out any extra oil that may be caught in different passages. And while that's still draining, you're going to remove your oil filter housing cover. They're going to be different size bolts. I'm going to have a shorter one and a longer one. You're going to take this off. There is a spring right here. Make sure not to lose that. That's very important. And you're going to need to pull the old oil filter out. Alright. Take that out, put that on the drain pad. Get your new oil filter. Make sure your hands are clean. Get your new oil filter. It's always a good idea to compare it to the old one just to make sure they're same size. You don't want to put the wrong oil filter in here. That will not be good. So we'll check. Yep, same size. You're going to do grommet side in, and it says this side towards the engine. You're going to seat it down onto the spout, and you will take your oil filter housing cover, reinstall it, make sure the spring goes inside of this. Okay. Give it a little push. Install your bolts back. Snug them down nice and evenly. So, a few turns, top one, a few turns in the bottom one, back to the top one, back to the bottom one. Okay. Once it seats, give it another little snug, a little snug. These don't need to be super tight to seal. There's an O-ring in here. That's what does the sealing. These just need to be snug enough to keep them from falling out. Okay, now we're going to reinstall our drain bolt. They should have a crush washer on it. They sell these at Rocky Mountain for $1. You can buy an OEM Kawasaki one for $5, but the Tusca ones work just fine. These will wear out over time. They are crush washers. You will need to replace them eventually, especially if you're over tightening your drain bolt. Alright. We're going to reinstall our drain bolt here. Alright, we're going to take our 12mm ratchet. Give the bolt a nice snug. not really tight. I'm not pulling over here, don't have a ton of leverage on it, just a good snug. And that should do it. Take your rag, wipe down the engine case, get the old oil off of it. Okay, so we got the bike standing straight up, both wheels still on the ground, bike perfectly level. We are going to take a big flathead, remove the fill plug, and grab our MSR clean funnel, caps on both ends to keep the dirt out. My oil of choice is AMSOIL synthetic dirt motorcycle oil. I have really good luck with this in the past. It seems like it keeps bikes running cooler, keeps them running longer. This is my oil of choice. So the Kx450 takes about 1 quart when you remove the oil filter. So we're going to open up this bottle and fill it up. Alright, so we got the whole quart in there. Put that right there so you don't drip anywhere. Going to reinstall our fill plug. Do it a little snug, doesn't have to be too tight. Alright, we're going to start the bike, let it idle for a little bit, let the new oil flow around, and then we will check the oil level using our sight glass. Alright, we'll let the bike idle for a little bit. Now we're going to check our sight glass underneath the brake lever here. So it looks like we're about 3/4 of the way. That's perfect. So now, we're going to lean the bike back over, reinstall the skid plate, and then you're done. Alright, that's it. I'll put the torque specifications for the drain bolt and the oil filter housing cover in the description below. Let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.